In today's video, I set up a 300-gallon above-ground pond in my basement after lugging this massive tank from my garage all the way in my house down the stairs. I did damage the walls, I did get bit by my snapping turtle, I did break my microphone, I did start a very large excavating project in my front yard, moving boulders to create a shoreline where my greenhouse is gonna go. I did a lot of stuff. Let's get into the video. You know what this basement's lacking? I feel like it's lacking fish tanks. Now luckily, I actually have a garage full of additional tanks. Oh, okay, this one's gonna be heavy. Okay. I often get asked, Luke, how have you not destroyed your back by now? And honestly, it's a miracle. The Lord has blessed me with discs of steel. I'm gonna freaking die, dude. This is gonna be quite difficult. Oh no. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray that I don't die. Uh-oh. Fit! That chipped part of the ceiling. Okay. Look. Yeah. I am stuck in my basement because that is stuck in the doorway. I was trying to free this thing for like 20 minutes and at one point it got like completely stuck both ways and I was legitimately considering getting my Sawzall and cutting it up and calling it a day. But I persisted. There is a serious problem now. This is stuck. Oh my goodness. Look what I've done. We've come to that point. Door is currently bending. Okay. Okay. My door is bent, but the tank is free. I may have bent my door, damaged my walls, and damaged my ceiling, but I also have a 300-gallon tub in the fish basement. Look at the massive size of this tank. It is way bigger than anything else in here. That which I break, I can also fix. I always keep a little bit of spare spackle just because this is not the first time that I've caused wall damage. I do this quite often, unfortunately. But let's clean this up a little bit, shall we? Alright, just a little more smoothing to do, but you know, I will say that's pretty decent. Kind of screwed this up here as well. Before all the blue-collar construction guys come in here saying, you didn't do that darn right, I've been working with drywall for 20... I don't care. I don't care. It looks better than it looked before. Leave me alone. And before everybody says, why didn't you just pop the door pins out and put them back in? You didn't need to unscrew the door. I didn't know that, okay? This is my first time taking a door off, and I was able to put it back on, so I'm proud of myself for that, alright? Cut a man some slack. Now that we're all fixed up, let's get back to building the pond. We got our laser level. We're gonna need this to set up our lights. Okay, so now we know exactly where we need to hang our light, in the most inconvenient spot. Using a laser level to determine exactly where I should put the light was kind of overkill just because I could always move the tank, you know, a couple inches back and forth, but I did just buy a laser level, so I wanted to use it. The next step after this was drilling the holes in the ceiling along this line to hang the light and the wire for the light. So this light is basically a plant grow light. I'm going to be using a plant grow light on here because I want to grow some plants in this pond. I want to have this pond not require that many water changes. I want the plants to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and I need a light for that. Around this time is where my camera stand fell down, and my phone containing the microphone receiver got literally broken off, so the microphone receiver broke. So I'm going to be doing a lot of voiceover for the rest of this video. Okay! After I got the lights set up, it was now time to clean up the tank a little bit before I began its initial fill. I had actually used this tank to raise some guppies before, so it did have algae and dust and other stuff in there, so I tried just getting the loose stuff of that cleaned off before I started filling it up. There's a groundhog that's been going underneath. I thought I saw someone there. Now it's finally time to fill our pond for the first time. While this pond is filling, I want to tell you guys about our Oreo t-shirts and Oreo hoodies that are available for pre-order. They are almost done in production, and the Luke's Goldies hoodies and Luke's Goldies t-shirts are now in hand. If you guys want to support this channel and get some awesome fish merch, go to lukesgoldies.com and purchase your hoodies and your t-shirts and your pellets and your fish and everything else now. Thank you. Next up, we gotta add some filtration. So I actually just threw in a couple already cycled sponge filters into this pond. So it's basically kind of instantly cycled. The only place where beneficial bacteria really matters is on the filters, because that's where all the water's flowing through. So you can like instantly cycle a tank as long as you have fully cycled filters that you throw in there. So I did this while I was filling the tank. And also, I want to add some plants. There's no reason to add this big expensive light if we're not going to grow some plants out of this pond. These plants also are going to help with the cycle, because I was growing them out of some other cycle tanks, so there's beneficial bacteria all over them, and they're just going to absorb the nitrates. They're going to absorb the ammonia. And I know a lot of people are going to get down and be like, why did you add the duckweed? Duckweed sucks. I actually struggle to grow duckweed sometimes. Alright, if I can grow duckweed out of here and actually remove nitrates, all I gotta do is scoop the duckweed out. Absolutely, I'm gonna do that. So I'm just trying to grow plants. I'm trying to convert the waste matter in this tub and grow it into plants. Very easy. I'm no plant expert, but the plants added into this tank, I believe, are different kinds of lilies, Amazon swords, and then the floating plants are salvia, and of course the duckweed, everybody's favorite. Luke, the pond looks great, but what fish are we gonna add into the pond? Is it fish, an alligator, a turtle? What are we doing in the pond? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I want everyone to look very closely at this picture. Yeah, that's right. I may have gotten a little impulsive when I was at Zoo Creatures, and we're gonna grow an alligator out. We now have a basement alligator. I'm joking, guys. My brother photoshopped this. No, as you guessed it, we're adding... No, that was fake. We're adding goldfish to this tank. I know that's a big shock for everyone. What? Luke's Goldies is adding goldfish to his tank. Yeah, it's happening again. We're gonna drop a couple power sticks in here just to get all the fish to pool up to one area so I can show them better. Also, these power sticks are also available on lukesgoldies.com. So, yeah, why did I choose goldfish out of anything? Well, I have a ton of goldfish babies. After Carrot 2.0 and Donald had all these babies, I needed more space. I could not sell enough goldfish to make enough space for all these babies, so I decided let's add 300 gallons of volume to this basement. And I know I only have like 3 sponge filters in here currently. I'm gonna have to like double or triple that. I'm gonna have to set up some new lines, but that's okay. That's gonna be easy for me. I have a central air pump system. But yeah, this pond was really just to expand my goldfish capacity. The greenhouse is not yet ready yet, but it's time to begin working on that right now. So let's get the Bobcat out and let's begin making a shoreline to prepare the greenhouse for the next expansion. So yeah, for those of you that are pretty new, I'm trying to build a large goldfish greenhouse over an area where there used to be a fishery on this property. And in order to do that, I had to fill up a lot of dirt to level out the whole area. And now I need to make a shoreline where that dirt is so it doesn't erode away into the pond. So I found this massive pile of boulders in my front yard, and I've just been scooping and loading as many of these boulders as I can into my Bobcat, and then driving it one bucket at a time. Yeah, this is going to take forever. This is a slow process. One bucket at a time, I'm driving it, and I'm dumping it at the, newly created shoreline or filled up shoreline just to prevent this thing from eroding away into the pond. Because of the way a Bobcat's bucket is shaped and how it operates, it's kind of hard to just scoop up boulders. Sometimes you kind of have to roll them into the bucket. So this was a very tiresome project, and I got it. I didn't get it done. No, I just begun the process. There's still a lot more work to do. A lot of people recommended actually growing some native plants and like shrubs along this shoreline as well to get some roots that really hold everything in place, and I do believe that I'm going to be doing that as well. So I'm going to have boulders and I'm going to have plants, Maybe I'll throw some grasses on there and stuff as well, just to, seal it all up. And hopefully that should be enough to make this place pretty stable. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this video was beneficial and helpful if you're also trying to set an above ground pond. By the way, I got the tank from Tractor Supply Company. I got the light from Amazon. I got the sponge filters from Amazon. And I got the plants from my own tanks, which I got from Dustin's Fish Tanks. So yeah, pretty simple overall thing to do. I think the total material cost, not including the fish, for a pond like this is around $500 or so, because the tank was $300, and then the sponge filters are $5 each. You have to get an air pump for that, which is like $20, $30, $40. The light is like $50, $60. Then plants and stuff like that, it adds up. So roughly around $500, which for a pond like this is not bad.